Tell us where you're located at.
We're located on 203 East Washington,
Okay.
right there in the big gray building. This used to be Cross Flower Shop. That's what we
In
were
my
told.
building.
Yeah, so it's been really fun being part of the community. We appreciate everybody that came out and supported us.
Another one, new guest we've got is Sean Brady with the Flower Shop. Tell us about your business and all that.
Well, most of the people know that we've got the flower shop now, so we're ministering to people through flowers, and then I also have, fake cakes and catering and lots of round cake.
Appreciate you coming here with the new business and all that.
Thank you.
Mr. Frank Propley has some guests with the Save Us Back. Frank?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Just want to take a minute to introduce some new employees. It's great when your bank starts to grow, and Emma reminded me that I introduced her last time, but I really do want to introduce Emma Hughes and Krisha Hambright. But especially we have a new lender who's joined our team, and he comes to us all the way from Connecticut. And and by way of New York Law School and in Knoxville and several things, but Ryan Riviere is new with our bank, and we want to make sure he gets a good welcome.
All right, welcome. And last, our surprise guest, Congresswoman Harshbarger. Would you like to say anything?
No, just that, I've been a small business owner for 35 years with pharmacies and things, and I understand your plight and the things that are going on right now, and what's going on in the country, and the uncertainty that, distribution supply chains are, the having. Who in here hasn't paid more at the grocery store? Raise your hand. Who hasn't paid more at the fuel pump? These things affect your everyday lives. I don't care what they say, that these tax increases and things and the giveaways won't affect anybody less than 400,000. That's not true, because inflation is taxation. And so what we have to do is help you where you're at. And I know that during COVID, there was a lot of PPE loans that people took out, but there's still help out there. And if you ever have a question or concern, all you have to do is reach out to me. You can reach out to Daryl or Cody. Daryl's at Morristown office, Cody's at the Kingsport office. Call me in DC, it doesn't matter. I'm down here this week. You never know what our schedule's gonna be because she changes it all the time. But I am around, okay? So don't feel, the one thing I want you to know is, as a business owner, I'm right there with you. I struggle. There's things, my son runs that business now, and I understand the hardships you suffer. So it's not easy to start a new business or to maintain your business or to grow. But there's lots of things we can do. Just let me know. And if you have questions when everything's finished, please come up to me. I don't care what it is. Just don't ask me my age or my weight. So anyway, I'm accessible, and I want you to know that. If you have questions, come up to me. Okay? I'm on education and labor, and I'm on the higher education workforce development subcommittees and the health subcommittee. But I'm also in the doctor's caucus. I'm also on Homeland Security, on cybersecurity and critical infrastructure. So there's a lot of things there that we do. But being in the doctor's caucus, we have the privilege of being able to do those studies on ivermectin and some of these repurposed drugs. And yes, ivermectin works. I better believe it works. But physicians are not allowed to tell you that. Okay, they're not allowed to prescribe it per AMA guidelines. They don't allow pharmacists in chain drugstores basically that you dispense it because it's off label. How many times have you taken something off label for an indication or a chronic illness? But yes, that's important. You need to know what your rights are, your individual rights are. You can do that. You can have your doctor prescribe it if he will or she will. And there are pharmacists who dispense it, yes, sir.
Thanks. Real quick here, general membership meetings, we still have 3 months open for this year for anybody who would like to sponsor breakfast. May 26th, July 28th, and November 17th are open. If you'd like to, see Nancy and she'll get you on the schedule to sponsor a breakfast. Quickly, the next thing we've got coming up is Chamber Legislative Breakfast course, Congresswoman Harshbarger has agreed she will be there. John Lundberg, our new senator, because of the redistricting, will be there. Scotty Campbell, which is a new representative. Hawkins County actually has two now. Scotty Campbell and Gary Hicks will also be there. Tickets are $20. We are holding it this year at the American Legion because there's more room. I think we have a lot more interest and there's more room for us to kind of spread out up there. So if you see any of the board members or see Nancy, if you want tickets to that, it is February 12th. So it'll be a very good meeting this year, I think. A lot of attendance. So Nancy's already sold quite a few tickets. So if you want your tickets, man, see us. Next, we're going to talk about the volunteer awards. We always have the youth and adults. Two of our board members, Andrew Poe and Jeffrey Nutty, would you like to come up here and present the awards to her?
Good morning.
Morning.
Certainly good to be here this morning and talk about these fine young people that, and I mean young, all of us are young at heart. We're just thrilled that we have a community that reaches out and does so much for others. Jim Jenkins, there he is, has volunteered with Hawkins County 4-H and Heritage Lights Youth Leadership and Rogersville's Main Street events since he was in 6th grade. He has organized coat and food drives, made masks for school food service employees during the pandemic, collected snacks for service members being deployed, organized and led lake, river, and roadside trash and recycling projects, and worked to develop habitats for native species among local waterways. Through the Appalachian Fair Youth Board, Jim has led the effort to provide Kids Night as a service to low-income families now for 5 years. Children are admitted to the fair at no cost. As a 4-H All-Star, Jim has organized and participated in service projects benefiting local homeless shelters, food banks, children in foster care, nursing home residents without local families, pregnant mothers in need, as well as international projects. Recently, he had a project to collect used jeans which were cut in foot-shaped patterns and sent to Africa, where they were used to make foot coverings. This year at a regional conference, Jim led 128 4-H All-Stars in 6 service projects benefiting 62,258 individuals in 3 days. During the pandemic, Jim brainstormed to create ways youth and family could productively spend time together safely without cost. The result was the Hawkins County Hiking Club. Jim researched local areas and hiking trails. He and other 4-Hers set up a Facebook page to share the information with the public. Additionally, Jim led groups of 4-Hers to video the hikes, including historical trivia, tree identification facts, bird watching ideas, and healthy living information, which were then shared through Facebook, their Facebook page, as virtual hikes for folks to enjoy monthly hikes, even if they were unable to get outdoors. During the pandemic, the local election commission was faced with providing a safe voting environment. Jim worked with the election office to organize a system of creating voter sanitary packets. He led local youth to create 8,000 packets, which were given to voters, providing hand sanitizer, a glove, and personal pen for their safety when voting. He caught the attention and personal applause of Congresswoman Harshbarger. Jim Jenkins has completed over 2,600 volunteer hours during his high school years. He has participated in hundreds of service projects and continues to educate and lead youth in service learning. He is excited to continue his education while seeking ways to serve others and make communities around him a better place. If you hear Jim speak, he will recount the many, many ways he has been blessed in his gratitude for the opportunities to give back to his community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Jim Jenkins. So the plaque says, the Governor's Volunteer Stars Awards 2022, recognizing Jim Jenkins for his outstanding volunteer service as Hawkins County's Youth Volunteer of the Year. This recognition is given to one youth in each county annually who has demonstrated servanthood, understanding, and courage through volunteer services. By doing so, Jim Jenkins has been recognized as an example of excellence for others to follow. The state of Tennessee and the Governor Bill Lee are proud to honor Mr. Jim Jenkins for all he has done. Say something.
Well, he said if, not when, so I guess it's kind of impromptu. But all I have to say is this is a huge, huge honor for me, and it's not really possible without the love for the community that my parents placed in me. It really does mean a lot, and something that 4-H has always kind of installed in me, that's always pushed me to put myself out there and do more than what I think I can, is 4-H has told me, you know, why can't it be you that goes out and starts a youth service committee? Why can't it be you that, you know, pioneers sort of all of these things? It's really humbling. Sometimes I just think to myself, I just show up and I just kind of do what's asked of me, not really much else. But this is a huge honor. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone involved in making that decision. So thank you, and I guess I'll better get to school.
I would just like to add, Jim is so great to work with. He's also, we talked a lot about 4-H, but he does so much in the community. You know, sometimes he'll just come up to my door and say, Miss Nancy, is there anything you need me to do? Or he's, you know, I noticed the flags downtown's been up a little too long, you want me to take them down, so. We certainly appreciate everything he's did, and, you know, and when you think about outstanding young people like this, we're honoring one today, but we've got lots of them in our community, and thank you all for all the support that you always show to them, and thank you, Jim, for the great job that you do. Andrew Poe is going to introduce our next volunteer award winner.
Good morning. Next, we'd like to recognize Mr. James Shackelford. James is an active deacon at Churchill Baptist since 1990 and serves as chairman of the Buildings and Ground Committee and is active with Baptist Men's Ministry. James began going on mission trips in 1993, 5 times to Venezuela and 3 times to Belize. He loved building churches and orphanages. He learned about the Baptist Disaster Relief Organization in 1997, took the training, and began making trips. James began to lead teams to places like Slidell, Louisiana after Katrina. When Katrina hit, James had a Tennessee team at work the next day. 3 Baptist associations worked together to do mud out, meals, and showers. James has been on 5 trips to Louisiana, Puerto Rico, Texas, Ohio, Tennessee, North Carolina, New York, Maryland, and 5 trips to Gatlinburg after the fires destroyed and damaged thousands of homes. James joined the Baptist Builders, where he has led groups to remodel kitchens, repair or replace roofs, windows, and build handicap ramps. James has also led Baptist Builders to work on churches in the 2-county area, including War Creek, Beach Creek, Fishers Creek, and Sneedville's First Baptist. They have done work for Habitat for Humanity and Tennessee Baptist Children's Home. Sheldon said the job that stands out most in his mind is when they were asked to help a husband, wife, and 3 small girls living on the lake in tents and an old camper. No electricity, no running water, no bathroom, no money, no food. First they fed them, then took them back to their campsite. James coordinated efforts to provide a home, furniture, and vehicle all in less than a month. James works with God's Warehouse, a regional warehouse making regular trips, picking up furniture for families in crisis, pallets of food and hygiene products that they distribute through First Baptist of Goldsville, Hawkins County Pregnancy Center, East Rogersville, Churchill Food Bank, and of One Accord Ministries. James is a part of Baptist men that work with the Bristol Motor Speedway at Raceway. Through Raceway Ministries, he served race attendees through a campground providing gospel information, cookies, water, coffee, and a church service on Sunday mornings, and providing golf rides into the raceway for those in the campground unable to walk. He is always sharing Jesus with the people around him. He has been married to his wife Ginger for 50 years, 51 in March, and has 2 daughters, 3 grandsons, and 1 granddaughter. Please join me in recognizing Mr. James Shackelford. So this plaque, Governor's Volunteer Stars Award, recognizing James Shackelford for his outstanding volunteer service as Hawkins County Adult Volunteer of the Year. This recognition is given to 1 adult in each county annually who has demonstrated servanthood, understanding, and courage through volunteer service. By doing so, James Shackelford has been recognized as an example of excellence for others to follow. The state of Tennessee and Governor Bill Lee are proud to honor Mr. James Shackelford for all he's done. Congratulations.
Thank you. There's 55 churches in our association that support everything that I do, and without them, we couldn't do anything. And so, on behalf of the association, I gladly accept this. I've got a team of people that work with me. I've got a couple of guys here that work with me just about every day that we're out. Bill Arms and James Wade, and we've traveled around this country for longer years than I constantly think about right now. But what we do is, in disaster relief, our motto is, we're the hands and feet of Jesus. And that's what we try to be. And in Hawkins and Hancock County, there is a great need for the hands and feet of Jesus in a lot of people. And we're blessed to be able to minister to people in a tangible way, and that's a blessing for us. And but I do thank the Chamber of Commerce and all for this honor. This is great. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Shackelford, for all your hard work. We certainly appreciate all that you do. And that's one of the things that makes my job so easy, and living in a community like we do is great people like you and Jim who go out and are servant leaders. And we certainly thank you all for everything that you have done. And, you know, there's not a task too big or too small that we can't conquer if we do it together. So thank you all. Just real quick, I'm going to go over a few things here, and then we're going to turn it back over to Sheldon. We're just trying to get through the January snooze. I think that's what I always call it. Everybody's still trying to hibernate for a little bit longer. But we're working on a lot of marketing and promotion things through the Tennessee Vacation Guide. We did receive the Downtown Improvement Grant, which you've heard me talk about before, and we're in the process of putting the applications out and getting people for that. We are applying for another grant for the Powell Law Office, the law building over on Washington Street that we got it stabilized and standing upright again, and now we're going to start on the inside. So we certainly are looking forward to getting that grant in, and y'all just say a little prayer that we get it. It's sometimes easy to get the first one, but not as easy to get the second one. So we're working on that. Our dog park, we've had run into little issues, supply chain. So we're still trying to get the elements in the water up there. So hopefully by the end of February, we'll have that ready to go and be ready for warm weather. Excuse me, we're still working on their 3-star program. Just met with the Joint Economic Development Committee this past week and put some plans together and looked at some things that we need to do there. And hope that you'll be at the February meeting that the Board of Education is hosting. And Brandon's got a great presentation that he's going to have to show you what we're proposing up at Phipps Bend Industrial Site. So, and let me put a plug in for Gabrielle if you know anybody that needs a job. She's at Cooper Standard, and they are definitely hiring on all 3 shifts. So if you can help her out and send someone her way, she would certainly appreciate it. And the other thing, trying to help our youth again in our community. We almost have the YMCA building complete. Big thank you to Patrick for all the hard work and the leadership that he has shown in trying to get that open. The LEAP grant that the YMCA got put programs in the school, but the 5th through 8th grade would not have any place to go. So we're trying to get that club back open. Just to give you a quick recap, we have put in new flooring, we painted the building, put on a new roof. Help me out here, Patrick. What else? Oh, new electrical. We thought the box was going to be big enough, but unfortunately it wasn't. So, and want to thank everybody who has made a donation to that. We still got several things that need to be completed, so we would appreciate any help that you could give us on that. It's going to be great. They're going to feed 1,200 kids a month in Hawkins County. And then we'll have probably 75 children that can attend at the building. So this is for our youth and our community. So we certainly hope that you all can support that. Rebecca's not here for the industrial report. Her father-in-law is very ill, and we're not expecting him to make it. So keep her in your prayers, and we'll get you up to date. But we are getting a lot of requests on the businesses up there. You know, the famous spec building is for sale, and we think we have a person that's going to come, our company that's going to come in there and move into the spec building, and she's worked very hard to get that done. And of course, with our retail, we continue to grow. We have another business, and I was hoping they would get to be here this morning. Wayfaring Massage and Therapy has opened up at the old US Bank building upstairs, so check them out. And then, of course, go down and see Tashi at Liberty Bakery. We've been down there so much, she's named an ice cream after Maddie, so. So Maddie can vouch for the great food that they have. And at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Sheldon, and he's going to give you a little information about all the great things that One Accord has been doing. Sheldon.
Good morning, everybody. Part of the staff, if you are folks that come into the Shepherd Center quite often, you'll see some new faces. And if I could get our folks to just line up across the back there. I noticed that we have at least one board member here. Two, Frank and Carolyn. Would y'all stand up just a second? Two of the folks that helped lead the team. They're my bosses here at One Accord Ministry, and we so appreciate you. And then in the back, we've got some folks that have been here a while. Rita, raise your hands. Kathy, Wes have been here many years, but then if you look, everybody else raise your hand. These are brand new folks that are coming to be a part of the team here at One Accord. We want to come to thank you this morning. A lot of times I do something on the screen and we go through a lot of slides, but today I just want to say thank you. Without you, there would be no place to come this morning. Without you and the support of our community, a lot of you do things and you don't even realize you're doing it. Your child or grandchildren are doing a food drive at the school and you don't realize those food drives come to one of the 3 food pantries. or it might be that you are cleaning out your closet and you're bringing those around to the thrift store. Without the thrift store, not the rest of what we do wouldn't work. So it takes a community, and you're the community. And then we have all of these folks that take names at Christmas time, and you might do it through a church, you might do it through an organization, but the chances are 95% that those names came through Christmas for the Children, that provides those gifts and organizes that throughout the county. Of One Accord has been fully operational completely from 2020 and 2021. We've been, what do they call it, Congresswoman, that at risk, I guess, to serve the community, but this is an essential ministry, providing food and other services. We've been feeding families. We've been providing home meals to senior adults, participating in summer feeding programs, doing the countywide Christmas programs, doing COVID mass distributions and food, doing the Thanksgiving and Christmas food distributions, about 14 to 1,500 families being served in each of those times, hosting 20 mission teams just this year that have come from Florida and Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, all over the country to serve right here in Appalachia. We do a lot of distributions. Some churches will come and they bring things to distribute, to give out. A lot of those are done in Hancock County where the need is the greatest, but you see those going on. In Church Hill, there's the medical clinic, emergency services food pantry, and Heaven's Bell diaper pantry, all there in the Church Hill Shopping Center. And in Sneedville, we're operating the Sneedville Ministry Center over there that does many of the same programs that we do right here. They have a food pantry. They do many of the distributions over there. The drug or the recovery program over there called The Mission is receiving statewide recognition with O'Neill and Shana Green that are in charge of that. We have the Pregnancy Support Center over there, the Hancock County Mentoring Program, the Hancock County Life Skills Training, and the Justice Center. So a lot is being done over in Hancock County. I stand back at the end of the year, all of us do, and we say, how did God do that? I mean, we didn't do it. It went maybe through these hands, but we just added a little piece. We feel like the disciples that passed out all of that food had 2 fishes and just a few loaves of bread, and they just started passing it out, and it began to multiply, and that's how we feel at the end of the year. Every year, I take up your time telling you all the great things that One Accord has done, right? I mean, that we talk about the accomplishments, and every year we do serve about 100,000 people, distributing between $4.5 to $5 million worth of goods and services. We do that. That's regular stuff. Today, I wanted to take just a minute and talk to you about our vision, where we're going, what you could be a part of in Hawkins County. It's very likely the churches of Hawkins County are going to get together and in the last part of August do a countywide crusade that would be right now tentatively set at our city park, a Rick Gage Go Tell crusade, and we're excited about that, and we would certainly be a big part of that. During COVID, we realized that there's been a lot of folks that are sick and experiencing sicknesses. We have some folks that have been making quilts, and we have what's called the Healing Quilts Ministry. And that just means that if you come down and say that we need a quilt for someone, you come down and we'll let you pick out a quilt. This is just one of the ones. This is a smaller lap quilt, but these are free. There's no charge to anyone. We got about over 100 last year, but they're made for us. We've been giving them out. It seems like they just keep coming back in to continue giving out. Every time someone receives one of these, every stitch has been prayed over as they've been put together, and not only that, but we have a group here that meets that prays over them again. So as people use these, they feel the prayers of many people that are, a lot of times you get sick and you feel like I'm alone in this. Not when you have one of these. So if you know folks that need these, please come and ask for one and we'll get you a quilt. We're starting, I'm so excited because we've done global missions for many years. we had a transfer of the director of our global missions. And the guy that, one of the guys that we served was Dr. Bill Sawyers. He was a missionary in Argentina, but he retired and moved back to Texas. And when our global missions director stepped away, we asked if he would step in and do that, and he's done it, done a great job, but he's done it from Texas. And as we are beginning to find, many folks now are beginning to say, God is talking to them, they need to move to Hawkins County. I know what's going on, but there's a lot of folks moving here that say, God said. And when that starts taking place, we need to begin to take notice. But Bill is coming here, he's going to be one of our folks, and we're going to begin, we're starting a regional prayer network, just so that folks can, we're going to have ways that people can find us, they can give prayer requests, and we're going to be praying for those prayer needs. When we have a time where a lot of our country is in fear, where we're anxious, where we have all kinds of things like that going on, we need to be able to touch those lives and offer more than just, offer something that's tangible to them. So anyway, we've acquired, if you'll notice across the street where the old Vision Clinic was, there's new signs on that building, and it's no longer the Rogersville Vision Clinic, but it's a One Accord Vision Center. We're excited about that. We've already moved the Global Missions Office into there. We're going to have the Healing Quilts is there, a prayer room and a counseling room. We're setting up a room because a lot of our smaller pastors and churches don't have a place to do marriage counseling and things like that. And this is their request, so we're going to have a place that they can come in a downtown nice setting and have be able to offer counseling and grief counseling and things like that. So that's going to be over there, and then we are growing into that building. We're trying to follow God's steps to see what He's doing. There's a new organization in town, and we're connecting with them. They actually operate in our facility. It's called Connections. We're trying to identify folks in our county, folks moving in our county that are volunteering or want to volunteer. This is a puzzle, actually, and I invite you to come up and get one of these. It'll be neat to get it apart and then see if you can put it back together. But Jody put this together because she wants to connect with our volunteers, potential volunteers, and then she's working with all of the nonprofits in Hawkins County. If you're a nonprofit, YMCA, you folks that need volunteers, contact through Jody, and she will begin finding out where you want to work and plugging you into those places. We have 12 volunteer fire departments, rescue squad, lots of opportunities, no matter what your interest is, to be a part and give back right here in Hawkins County. And Connections right now is offering a $2,000 grant. There are 12 of them. So they're offering grants to organizations that are nonprofits in Hawkins County. And all you have to do, there's an online way to get to that. So if you're interested, know one of the nonprofits that are, contact me afterwards. And it's just a very simple process for these grants. We know that nearly 1,500 families, 1,463 is the count that I got. I've got a mailing list for them. We're going to be connecting with them because a lot of folks are coming here, and we're trying to recruit volunteers for our nonprofits out of those folks. And then we're also, a lot of folks, as I said before, are coming because they say, God sent me here. And me especially, I'm interested in this puzzle that God's putting together for our county. And every person that's coming in like that is a piece of this puzzle. So as we find out who they are and where they are and what God skilled them to do, we're putting those puzzle pieces together to see what God has for our future. And we're excited about that. We have a building across the street, Marketplace. We've had that for 10 years now, and we've not been able to finish the back because of coding requirements. This year is the year that gets finished. We have a building in Mount Carmel. We're going to have that finished this year. We're going to have some major work done to our parking lot right here in Rogersville. We're looking for a 16-foot box truck for Sneedville. So all of that taking place just right here. So excited to be able to share with you this morning, saying, hi, thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of the first chamber breakfast for the year every year. What else do you want? Oh, with the door prizes, and we're done. Thank you so much.
hard act to follow, and I feel so humble every time that I have to go behind him and say, okay, now it's my turn. We just want to welcome, first of all, Wayfaring Massage and Wellness as a new member. They hopefully will be here at the February meeting. We're unable to come this morning. And once again, thanks to Representative Harshbarger. It is so good to have you here. And, you know, what I love about her and her guys, they're always, if you call them, I guarantee within 30 minutes to an hour, you get a return call. So we really appreciate that. They have made a great presence in Hawkins County. And we appreciate, she spends a lot of time here. And all you small businesses, she spends money.
Yes, I do.
So, look over your list there. We've got upcoming events. We're trying to stay as normal as we can, and we're going to try to hold all of our events this year. These are some of the things for the year that we know that we've got planned, and want to continue to try to host those events. Our legislative breakfast, once again, is February the 12th. We do have tickets over here today if you'd like to purchase those. They're $20. We did move it to the American Legion just to let us spread out a little bit more and give us a little more room. It's an election year, and so we expect a huge attendance, so get your tickets early. And I'm not supposed to do this, so Patrick, go out in the other room, but I did finally go get my petition for 6th District, so. So I am running for Commissioner of 6th District again, so if you, anybody wants to sign my petition, go ahead. Okay, that's my. All right, here we go. No, I didn't say a word, Patrick. The Board of Directors' next meeting is February the 14th, the general membership breakfast. Will be at the Charles Fuller Education Center, and please come to that. We've got some great announcements there, and great things are happening in the community and happening up at Phipps Bend. With that being said, I'm taking President's Day off just because I think I need it. But the chamber office will be closed that day. And that was one thing about having my office at the bank. They had all these, we call them tater days, so you got to take off just because. So I extended those on over to my office across the street.